of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Blindly sat down, now get moved. I was telling Doug, his chair moved, don't sit down. Welcome, everyone, and I did hear from Max. His eyes had flared up too bad, so he won't be here tonight. Everyone else is here. Evening. Review and approval of agenda. Any questions about the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion made and seconded for the agenda. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comments. Anybody here tonight wish to make any comments on any topic not on the agenda? Not on the agenda. We'll let you know if it is on the agenda.
Was down at the park the other day with my little girl, and we mostly were just curious, like the ADA accessible area. However, this isn't the first time I've noticed it. First time I'm saying something about it. Underneath the screen, it is very
Dug out.
dug out. I'm not short, I'm not tall by any means, but I cannot even touch with my blue pointed down. So I can imagine a little like my she can't get off of it, and I had to like leap out of there to get off of it. So I can see something like that. I don't know what the other things look like, but I would imagine that the ones that is probably the under. So that would be. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Public comments? Moving on. Consent agenda. Any questions regarding the consent agenda?
Second.
Motion made and second to approve consent agenda. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bare knuckle fighting. Camille, is this you?
Yes.
Welcome tonight.
I have three quick things background going in, but I wanted to just start with the bare knuckle fighting and answer any questions I can, but it's really just relay this message to all of you. So Kansas Commerce reached out to me and said that they have potential where other communities are hosting fights like these, and it's a great potential for revenue. So they wanted to know if this is something that the community is interested in hosting, and if so, then I would just indicate us, and there may be a connection or a contact and opportunity that comes out of that connection. So I'm just relaying that message, and I'm happy to ask more questions, but I've already asked a few questions. It was passed on to me originally, and really it sounds like they're just going to provide you with a connection to someone who hosts these right now.
I'm fine with it. I used to pay a lot of money to get Jeremiah punching me in the face. So, there was for a while quite a big boxing community here in King County, and a lot of sparring. And I know a couple of people from around here actually went up to Kansas City and did some rings and stuff there. My general opinion is if we're going to let some 18-year-old strap himself to a bull for our entertainment, I don't see this as any more dangerous as long as they have insurance.
Okay. One thing they have talked about is the idea of the bigger building that's right over here and the potential of serving alcohol in it. Now that piece is not necessarily confirmed, but those two pieces did come in with it as well. But they said it's a great, like I said, it's a great revenue tourism. So, do you want to nod?
Jeremiah, you feel like getting in the ring again? You wised up as you aged, huh?
You can start sparring again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always fun for me.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Well, and Jeremiah and your brother, I think you guys were even approached about trying to sponsor one down here
Yeah.
at one time.
Yeah,
So it was,
There is interest.
there was more, wasn't there more tickets sold in this geographical area? You had more
Yeah,
representation
so,
than anyone else.
yeah. Just as an example, the first time I ever boxed in a ring. I sold over 200 tickets. And now it's just come on me. Nobody knows. So,
Okay.
but yeah, there's a lot of interest around here. So, yeah.
Okay, all right.
What's
So-
the cost involved in it?
No, they're not requesting incentives. This is just a, hey, we have the potential to provide an introduction.
According to the Kansas Athletic Commission, it says the cities hosting must ensure strict medical testing. The fighters have got to be licensed, so I guess the city is kind of responsible for that, to check for
I'd be happy to
HIV.
ask that follow-up question.
Also, they require 5% of all ticket sales to the Athletic Commission. Whether they're giving away or whatever, they still want 5% of whatever they would be.
And I don't know if this is in relation to that. All I know is this is a private entity and not a government entity that is supposedly providing this. I just to relinquish that.
And it was the fighters that,
Correct, yeah, it depends on the sanctioning of the event, is how all that is dictated. And then that's just an agreement upon them and wherever they're hosting that division, so.
I know Hutchison was outlawing them because they were getting too many fight clubs started afterwards in, personal homes and empty buildings and stuff with younger, 18 and younger kids, so it was spreading, so they were starting to all bare knuckle. They didn't have a problem with MMA or boxing, but with bare knuckle, they were starting looking into outlawing it.
You need to pay who has these fights?
Yeah. Hey. That's a good question. Yeah.
Are you signing up?
No, but I know people that might just find out.
Well, what I will say is, there's something in this that comes with any kind of offer. So if you're hungry for information and you just want to know, then I can ask about that. So many conversations have even happened since this particular one was brought up, but what I can do is my due diligence, we'll give you guys some more information. And then I think those are great questions. I unfortunately don't have a background in this. Clearly do. But I think it's a very valuable, because, of course, Commerce isn't going to have any questions or any ties like that, but they're passing us off to private entities, and they could very well come back and say, well, yeah, we want A, B, and C. So at this stage, if you're still interested, what I would do is say, can I get that contact? What are our next steps? And then provide your team with that information.
I'd say definitely bring back more information.
Yeah.
Besides, the council enjoys seeing you. You're part of the Eco Devo group, and I know they have asked to see you on occasion and hear what's going on, so appreciate you taking time out and coming to see us.
So I had two other really quick things to throw at you, and they're very brief, so I will follow up on that one. Just a quick highlight that Brunch of Business is happening on Wednesday at 9 a.m., and that's the books and bottom line, sales tax, QuickBooks, financial tips. This is the Humboldt Chamber of Commerce and Tourism, as well as Iola Chamber of Commerce and Tourism, working with the Small Business Development Center and Economic Development Centers, educational, and the brunch is at no cost. Allen East Community is actually covering the cost of the brunch itself. And so this is a series, the second in the series, that we're hoping will continue bi-monthly as just an educational component for any kind of small business. Both classes have been pretty full, and we've had different groups. The one in August, I believe it's August 26th, is going to be on hiring practices, and specifically potential funding streams that could be available through small business or startups. And then the last real quick thing is Haley actually wanted to interview for herself. So Haley is working with a micro internship through Kansas Commerce. This is a project-based internship. It's 20 hours, $500 for the 20 hours, and I guess it's project-based. We have $2,500 currently available to us in projects for micro interns. She is a second-year student, or starting her second year student at Community College Business student, was referred to us through the business department. This is meant to do two pieces. One is meant to engage with our local community colleges, Iola as well as Allen, and get that talent infused into the workforce without costing our business any money. There are almost no for-profit grants available, and most Kansas Commerce's grants, I should say, not grants, but incentives, aren't applicable to anything that's not a primary. Primary being warehouse distribution, manufacturing, ag, things like that. Which means that when I'm meeting with our small businesses, a lot of times I gotta go, all I can give you is my time, and guess what, I don't have a lot of that either. And so this leaves us with really one funding stream that I believe is fun. The micro internship program is $2,500 in free labor, project-based. The second one is the Kansas Work or Workforce One OJT, on-the-job training opportunity that we're currently qualifying Haley for. She'll go through the $2,500 for micro internship, and then we have another $6,000 currently available for her to do on-the-job training. That means I have about $8,500 of free labor that economic development is currently utilizing within our department. And when I say free, all that means is there's a potential for an internship to continue after that funding is no longer available, and it is an on-the-job training opportunity with no obligation. This is what we have available to our small business. Workforce One visited with 4 different small businesses last week, and we're going to continue to roll those out, especially with the chamber. I would like Haley to briefly introduce herself, because I know you have a full agenda, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to learn about the micro internship, tell our small businesses this is a potential opportunity. There's other funding that right now I'm going to get my hands on for them. This is hopefully a resource to help serve them.
Welcome.
Also, my name is Julie Jensen. I'm a business administration major at Community College. I'm on the first medical team. I'm really excited to be involved in economic development. It's something that I haven't done anything before, and I know that there's lots of opportunities to be different in the community that I'm a part of. So I'm really glad to be.
Okay, so if anybody is interested in learning more about this, this is a direct connection to Workforce One. One other OJT opportunity that was created was 60 OJTs were created at Neosho Memorial during the Southeast Kansas mental health layoff. And that was an introduction to economic development, to rapid response to Workforce One. And so you can take 6,000 by the 60 that were then brought into OJTs for Neosho. And this funding is available to small business as well as large enterprises.
Thanks, Camille. Thanks for the introduction. Okay. Moving on, roundtable, bike safety discussion. Jared? Do you guys want to come over and have a seat? I didn't know if anyone wanted to come on in and have a seat. We got plenty of chairs over here. Okay.
Here recently, we've had 2 traffic crashes involving bicycles and vehicles. One on June the 1st in the 700 block of Jefferson and Breckenridge Ridge, which involved a child on a bicycle who sustained very serious injuries. And then another on June the 10th, South Street in Rockville. And that was an e-bike that was in an old bicycle. With 2 incidents back to back like that, wanted to bring to the public's attention the aspect of the safety that comes along with the responsibility with riding bicycles, riding e-bikes, scooters, and everything. And it's quite difficult to sometimes get vehicles to stop at stop signs. It's really difficult to get bicycles and e-bikes easier to stop at stop signs. So we are exploring different avenues and take a look at what other cities have implemented the possibility with the safety. One of the biggest things is bicycles have all the rules, the same as every vehicle. With that, we have to do our part to the public education aspect, especially for our children, which here in September, we will start with safe days. Lieutenant Andres is going to head that program. He's been volunteering at the safe days. So we should be able to capture quite a few three categories of electronic concepts. They're pretty easy to log on. No, no. Most devices are not logged on. Okay, that's good. They appear to be going a lot faster than, so the state recognizes the category 1, 20 miles per hour, while category 2 is electronic assist. And then I think the category 3 helps stops with the electronic assist at 20 miles per hour. When that gets it, when it stops. So those are pretty significant speeds for the child points in stock. Right now, but we don't see
A lot of times there's a little kid behind them on the e-bike too, that they're holding on to the driver.
we have, as we've seen, more foundations, the officers have done stops, when they see actions. There's only issue with the citation, but so our approach on the police department side is, our officers see it, they are going to stop. And whether this, just have a conversation with them, and see what we need.
I think it's imperative that we approach it from a proactive standpoint before a punishment standpoint, kind of put the word out there that we need to step up and take this seriously. I remember going back to grade school here when they came in, officers came in the school and taught us bike safety. You're talking about the after-school program, but I mean, they physically came to classroom. I remember them teaching us left and right and stop and turn and nighttime and which side of the road. And I can remember officers, we'd be riding on the sidewalk with our buddies on the handlebars and whoop, whoop, they siren, sir, come here, and they talk to us. And boy, it straightened us out, and we knew that we had those rules to follow because it was told to us. And now you've got this whole generation of people that are adults now that haven't had those classes. So they're out there buzzing through and creating all these violations. Now, they should know better, but I'm a believer in being proactive. I also wonder, at one point in time, shortly after we opened the rail trail, we got a grant or something for the bike sharrows through town, and I wonder if something like that would be helpful too. It kind of helps steer on the road where you should be. We had the sharrows on one of the sidewalks downtown to show on this road you can be on the sidewalk since it's a highway. So I don't know if that would be something that we could look into that might help creating actual bike paths around town with bike sharrows, especially as we move forward with new sidewalks downtown. And is there a brochure that's helpful to put in stores that we can help hand out and get the word out?
Years ago, we did, ordinance, we adjusted the ordinance to allow bicycles. But that doesn't mean it's any safe.
Yeah.
We have driveways, which are also. It doesn't make it. It's not as safe, but I would rather have 5 or 6 people on the sidewalk versus out in traffic.
Yeah.
Just visibility and stuff.
Get that, yeah.
Very hard to see. And also the drivers of the vehicles, they all need more water to slow down. Pretty much everything.
years ago, we had Jeremiah, my kids' age, and probably participated, and Chase, you probably did too, down at the park on spring break.
Like rodeo.
Yeah, there was an obstacle course. They would license the bicycles because are we not supposed to have bike license in the city limits? No? Yes? But we would license, you guys would license the bicycles, you would give out helmets and teach bicycle safety. I'm glad to hear, because, you know, you got my email, I'm sure, a week and a half or so ago about it. I would like to see something implemented again. Safe Base is a great place to start. I agree with the mayor, education is key, and we have skipped a generation. So those parents are not teaching their children bicycle safety, and that they are responsible to uphold the same traffic laws that a motor vehicle is supposed to be upholding. And like I said, Safe Base is a great place to start, but I think I would like to see past 6th grade as well, just the older kids, because I'm seeing a lot of these kids darting through the alleys and I mean, I've had to slam on my brakes more than I'd like to even think.
We've seen.
Yes. I'm sure you have. You're out there a lot more than I am.
And I've received an email from services today.
Yeah, I just, like the mayor says, we need to be proactive and we need to teach them. And since we've skipped a generation of teaching, we're going to have to catch up a little bit. But I remember sending my kids down, and you guys were down there too. So it was like 3 or 4 days of events that were being held down here during spring break. I'm sure.
We struggled with getting turnout there for a while. We actually started that program in 2010. We made all the laws for doors, everything else.
And it's a lot of work, and I totally understand that, and it takes a lot of effort, and trying to reach the right people and get the right groups in, and I do understand that.
And we were also, we had been teaching in the schools in the aspect of being group with bringing along with their work. So we got cut down in class. So we had spring danger. So starting with kindergarten, the classes so that we were teaching programs, but now classmen actually
Sure.
school. So this past year there, with all the 5th graders, and they're in one class, with my human resource officer to teach. It's kind of hard to hold the attention of 76 hours to every class. Expecting them all to do essays and get those turned in. On that margin. So those are kind of the struggles.
Sure, I understand. We have the same amount of time, but a lot more material that we have to get through, and so.
With Safe Base, Director Henry and me have already talked about it. She's going to allow me as much time as I need to break it down for class, I'm going to break it down. Luckily, you guys will let me volunteer for Safe Base. You've been some volunteers now, so I've got a pretty good rapport with Safe Base. So she's given me the ability to break it down as much as I want to. Like I can take kindergarten and teach them on the level that they'll understand. I can go K through 3, I can do whatever we need there. And I'm okay with approaching the other principals, but I'm in contact with Brad through where he knows me all the time.
Right.
So, I have no problem taking it to that level.
Right, and I have no doubt that you guys have established a rapport with the schools and the administration.
Obviously, at the high school level, we probably have to educate more on the motorist side.
Right.
I believe that's just as important as the bicycle side.
Absolutely.
The motorist side has become as dangerous as the bicycle side.
Right.
I think there's a lot of adults that have lost their license that are driving e-bikes all over town, and they don't follow the rules either.
That's what I was gonna say, like.
And there is no driver's license.
Okay, like on the north side of town, whether it be Garfield or Cottonwood, I mean, that hill, they're rolling really fast down that hill.
There's a kid there too.
Yeah, and I just feel like it's the kids, I don't see the kids being as bad an issue as the e-bikes, because they do not look at any signs, they just get where they're going, and it's like, you know, you're gonna cause a wreck. And I didn't know if there was any regulations against, or not against it, but that they have to drive the e-bike, because if you're going as fast as a car, I mean, I feel like there's other communities now where that's the golf cart thing. They're registering golf carts and people are taking golf carts everywhere. It's the same kind of concept, but these guys are going way faster than a lot of golf carts.
Does that fall under like the under 49 cc, like with mopeds and?
I know, so there's wattage.
Okay.
750 watts is the national and the max. The classes that you want to know are the law including. We got class.
Right. Well, and I knew that I had heard he was going to be here, and so maybe there's some collaboration that can take place and with the education.
I will ask one thing, will you all reach out to Josiah over at the college as well? Because I know there's a lot of students that come in, particularly our international students. They love those bikes, it's how they get around town. But I think it would be probably good for them too to sit down before they check out all the bikes and say, hey, by the way, these are the rules of the road in the United States versus 50 other countries, and I think it's just a good refresher for them. If you'll reach out, text him and say, hey, is there any way that I can come talk to the student body about bicycle safety at some point as they get here in August? I mean, that's down the road,
But also with Thrive, doesn't Thrive, aren't they the ones that lend out those?
They're the ones that do the contracts for the sun bikes.
Right.
The bikes around town.
Right.
And I think the college actually stations.
No, we got a ton of them out there, and that's a lot of the kids. I say kids, a lot of the students' primary mode of transportation, and here it is those bikes.
Not stopping anywhere.
Hear from Ben real quick. If Ben has some ideas for us as our, of what we can do to improve safety. Would you mind?
Yeah.
I mean, this is your livelihood. You're in the community. You
Real quick, I will say, it does say a resident of the city of Iola can register a bicycle with the Iola Police Department. It is not mandatory, but it's highly recommended.
Okay, thank you.
Is that for theft?
Yeah, if they find it,
So
they
then
can get it back.
Get it back.
I'll take
Yeah.
that registration.
Thanks, Ben.
For anybody who doesn't know me, I've been out there at the bike shop downtown. Been with us for forever. Cycling advocate, long before the bike shop. As we're thinking about this stuff, I kind of want to think about two frameworks. First, road user responsibility. I have a much greater responsibility for safety as an adult on a bicycle, watching out for children, than a child does. If I hit a 6-year-old, very, very, very bad day for them. That scales out even more when I'm in the car. I have the potential for a huge amount of harm driving my vehicle versus walking down the sidewalk, get on a big scooter. You want to have a community that's safe for those children. Second thing I want to think about is when we talk about traffic safety, we also talk about 3 E's of traffic safety. Really, about the fourth one. But the 3 E's that I think about are education, we talked about it a little bit, and putting that in perspective of road user responsibility. I think education is the general public about what that for instance, like what the road user responsibility will do, what might expect them. It's pretty important. Enforcement speaks for itself. We normally do. Paying attention to distracted driving, paying attention to high speed. No longer. And paying attention to the basic traffic safety regulations. And then our third one, engineering. I think here in Iola, we do have a built environment that makes itself moving around. We have our, we've got a lot of sidewalks, we've got the impact road. Downtown is getting improvements from where it is already, which is already pretty good. We're moving further improvements in the road project. East side of town, we're also getting from school, getting more improvements. There's hundred places you can pick about that. I believe somebody was talking about Cheryl earlier. That's an example of, I don't think it's terribly effective, but it's an example of engineering. And then that's what emergency response is important. On e-bikes, every e-bike sold in the United States is supposed to meet those class regulations. There are a lot of off-road only e-bikes being sold online. We're starting to see them here in Iola. They're showing up. You see them, and those are the ones that if you see someone riding a bike that looks like a quiet dirt bike is 24 miles an hour, that's an off-road only vehicle. Whether those are dangerous depends on the operator, but they have a much higher potential for harm than e-bikes that are 20 miles an hour. And just for a little bit of context about the 20, for class 1, for a refresher, 20 miles an hour pedaling, class 2, 20 miles an hour, they may have a throttle, class 3, 28 miles an hour pedaling, 20 miles an hour throttle. Those numbers are kind of set. If you see me or Sophie riding around town, we're probably going about 20 miles an hour. If you see Andrew riding around town, he's probably going about 28 miles an hour. They're set based on what a cyclist might otherwise be doing. I think we're at the beginning of this conversation. I just kind of set the context of road use responsibility, what is effective, and then also a lot of thinking about these larger issues that already exist. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on up.
For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Sophie Alexander. I've lived in the Iola area for 10 years. I consider myself to be a pedestrian, a cyclist, and a motorist. On a given day, you might see me walking, you might see me biking, and you might see me driving a car. And definitely my experience being a pedestrian and cyclist, I try to be aware of my surroundings, but it does inform how I behave when I'm using other modes of transportation. So when I'm biking on the rail trails and there are pedestrians, I know that I am moving faster, I'm heavier, I can cause a lot more harm on my bicycle to somebody who's walking or running. So I feel a greater responsibility for the safety of others when I'm operating that scenario. When I'm driving, I am looking out for sidewalks, I'm looking out for other road users, cyclists, and I am driving intentionally and deliberately, knowing that I might need to stop, and knowing that, children might be riding on the sidewalk and might pop up in front of me, and I'm prepared to maintain their safety. So I definitely believe that, that's been the things that are total responsibility at health, that's what I and are operating heavier vehicles. We care about our neighbors, we care about our community, we need to be out there. We want that to be anybody on bicycles who is being anyone that's on a bicycle, and so I'm using a walker right now because I was in a bicycle accident on April on Minnesota roads, but not in the U.S., but I was county road. I was turning left and a motorcycle hit me. So because I as a cyclist operate my vehicle as a vehicle, I know the rules of the road. I know when I'm a motorist that you don't pass through an intersection. I know to watch out for cyclists as they're taking in their turns and making them bend. So that's what I was following the rules of the road, and I was in an accident. We were accidents do happen, but yeah, I was following the rules of the road.
We're grateful you wasn't hurt any worse than you were. But, and you're humble too, because you say you sometimes drive a car, but probably 99% of the time I see you on your bicycle. So you're quite the cycler, I know that. So good talking points, and thanks for bringing that all to our attention, guys. We really appreciate it. Anybody else on bicycle? Donna?
I came tonight, as I always do, and I was going to talk about before. But when I saw her, I thought, oh my goodness. About 50 years ago, Ray and I were stopped at Lincoln in Washington. We were just getting out of school, and this kid came down, I won't say the name, he was one of my students. He came down and he left, totally forgot there was a stop sign or didn't know it, and the truck hit him, and he bounced right next to our truck. And the other day, I almost had the same situation. I was going down Harville, and people love to drive fast down Harville. You live there, so you see them. They don't drive 130, 30. They drive 50, because I work out my yard, I see it. So this little boy, I don't know how old he was, about this high, he come by me, I'm sitting there waiting to turn left, because I see two cars coming down quickly. And he come by me and turned in front of those cars, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to see that same thing. And I thought, I got to tell the council we've got to do something with kids and the mothers. No one is paying attention. And I thought, I don't want to see some of these kids dead.
I think that's where we're at. That's some of the topics we discussed, was wanting to do what we can to ensure our community is safe and that we don't have any bicycle fatalities. Anybody else on bicycles before we move on?
So there's a lot of ideas, and all of them good. But we as a body can probably focus on three main things, right? So the awareness and education, right? Structural changes, change how roads, how to walk, and signage. And the other is like regulations. And so I'm really curious to hear what's on regulations that other cities have done. Like the league you mentioned, finding out what other communities have done. I'd like to hear more about what influences others to help us. Because we're not unique. There are towns everywhere. And so this is not the first time this issue.
Corey. Everybody's having a hard time.
Especially where, it's all.
And that might be another. It's not a very popular issue, but there are a lot of other issues. A lot of those are some of the other things that it's pushing a lot of that traffic on Broadway.
Okay, yeah.
It's very tragic.
Well, looking forward to a follow-up so that we don't lose track of this momentum I'd like to see.
Thank y'all.
Assuming she's not going to have him answer. All right, moving on. Thanks, everyone, for that vital information. Corey, we're ready for you and Highway 54 update.
Just a quick update on a few things. Now, I'll caution you on the information I give because it tends to change pretty frequently and pretty quickly, just depending on the weather and how the contract is going. From our meeting last week, we have weekly progress meetings at KDOT. Obviously, KDOT pretty much dictates what goes on because it is partially funded through KDOT. So we don't do the KDOT hoops, but all good. So our meeting last week, right now, obviously, you can deal with the weather excavation, the north side of Madison, from basically Sonic to Buckeye. That's our first phase. That first phase, again, should be done second week in August. And then they'll jump over on the south side, and with any luck, we'll be done with the south side completely by Farm City Days, October 12th-ish, roughly. That's the schedule. My hope is substantial completion. They tell me phase one will be done. We'll see.
Has all this rain slowed you down any?
It has, but I don't know that we're early enough in the project that it's probably not slowing them down a lot. They can jump around and move to other things.
Don't you think it's kind of gotten better now that they've got gravel in there because they can pump, I see they pump the water out and they're back in there.
Base rock, when they put that base rock down, they've got a water truck sitting up just a couple blocks away, but they would have been watering that road that was in the house, in compaction. So the rain is not all bad thing. They like to have some of that moisture on that rock in the house to feel it compaction. Guess what? Probably not. I think things are going pretty well. If everything goes well, at least last week when we met on Thursday, they had planned to have everything excavated on the north side by the end of this week. I don't know if that's going to take place just because of the rain. And I noticed they got concrete baskets in, the rebar baskets going the roadway. They're sitting over by the old Thompson building. So I look for, they told me by the end of the week they like to have some final grade and stuff like that. I don't know if the weather's going to make that happen. But they told me as early as next week it might be close to concrete. I think that's, in my mind, it's a stretch just because of the weather. And that's why I don't like really putting that out there. I think it's very early. Things are
Goals, not gospel.
right. You know, the schedule, I think, is pretty well on pace though, for right now. They've got a lot of excavating faster than right now. The water line project, you guys know, we've got a lot going on in that small field. The highway project is just a small piece of it right now. The other piece is the water line piece. It's kind of working on the south side of the highway, but it's over to them. They're also out on the east side of it, basically right eye out the section right now. So we've got that, and then I've got our city crews out there a little farther than that. There's some water line tie-in before the water line gets to us. So then couple that with one other contractor, we've got one doing what the city guys will be doing the power line or the light on these. So there's a lot going on at the busy. Not to mention we actually got one going up here. Our trucks going through there. I talked to Chief and Ray a number of times. I really want to see police presence, and I knew they have it in just to slow things down. I don't necessarily want to see them like this, but actually got it. It's 25 for a reason. 25 for a discussion.
Wouldn't hurt my feelings to see at 20. I've had some semis really blast through pretty fast when you're on that jog. I know we don't, but during construction,
They did agree to allow us to drop it all to 25, which was what the drill was previously. So basically, from Kentucky, just 25 mile an hour to town.
my thinking is if it said 20, they'd push 25. Because I swear there was a couple of semis back to back doing 35 plus through town. Broadway's been horrendous.
I don't even know what lane it's supposed to be in. I'm just, okay.
I can tell you tomorrow they're going to be in there changing things a little bit again. I would imagine if you go home tonight, you drive across the square, you'll see the parking in front of the farm to be blocked off now, or will be, because they're gonna start shifting that traffic and start excavating all the past the square. So they wanted to block that off. And honestly, they keep us in the loop pretty well, honestly. You're right, honest, I don't think we have to. It's a KDOT project, it's always with the KDOT. So in the end, KDOT's gonna dictate what happens. But right now, the contractor called me pretty much there. We did have something I was working on after you guys expressed the mayor friendship, we haven't been public meeting. I was actually working with Kelly last week, trying to set up another public meeting. Something I'm a little leery of, just because I don't want to push bad information that's going to change. And I'll stress that at all meetings that we have. But keep in mind, this is subject to change from contractors, and they just need to do something, we're going to do something. I am having a meeting tomorrow morning. It's going to be geared more towards the downtown businesses, or I won't call it downtown, I'll call it physical corridor, because it really affects a little bit. From 8 till whenever you believe City Hall. We started at 8 in the morning, that was kind of a Cat 18 response, I believe, out of the email that they sent out to businesses, which I thought was pretty good. Previously, when we had all our, I've had a lot of opinions. County residents, well, on the we've had numerous calls. But we'll continue to try and have those, and try and put some things on those that this time they will change. But I think overall it's going pretty well. I really sympathize with the businesses. I understand what they're going through. I just don't know how to make it better. It's going to be hectic. It's going to be a mess. The sidewalks, when we get ready to tear that south side out, they'll temporary those in. I've had conversations with the contractor. The desire right now, they're going to visit with each individual business, what works best for them, and try to make that work for the construction piece. It might be that they tear it out, one day and put some temporary rock in for the day, tear it out at night, before it. You're going to have roughly 8 hours of cure time on the sidewalk. So the thought is before the evening, we'll be back on, we can open it right back up, first thing that next week.
I think the main key is from the different businesses I heard from and citizens, they want something. They just want to hear an update of some sort. And I think most people are understanding that we can't hold you to it because weather's a factor, or supplies are a factor. You know, you hit something you shouldn't hit when you're digging out there. And for the most part, I think the council just doesn't want to be blindsided by a bunch of phone calls and, well, I don't know. Something tangible to tell constituents that are calling, and for businesses, they just want to know that there's somebody on the other end that knows something rather than I'm getting no feedback whatsoever. And that's kind of the concern I received. And your follow-up online seemed to be spot on.
Corey,
I'm more than happy to answer phone calls anytime they call.
Yeah.
Corey, I'd say your statement that it's a KDOT thing and they don't have to tell us whether it's been full of air, I think that's just the opposite. Because no one that's complaining is going to call KDOT.
Right.
So KDOT should be overwhelmingly telling us, because KDOT needs to understand we're the ones that are at the tip of the spear.
KDOT is doing, they're keeping us in the loop. But when it boils down to it, KDOT rules will follow. So when it boils down to today, different things like that, that controlling item that we're doing, we can't do with the contractor. I guess is what I'm saying. The contractor knew bidding it that they were going to have businesses to do that. They knew that first phase was going to be messy. And they knew we wanted to go through by October, by the time fall through. That was in place. So, they're working it, and we're very fortunate we got a good contract. I do believe that it's going to give us, we're going to have a nice product. And it kind of plays into some of that safety that we were talking about a little bit. Sidewalks are going to be wider. Pretty much throughout the project, we're going to make the sidewalk on both sides of the curb. The downtown area is going to have some bulb outs along the square where it's so wide to get across. Those bulb outs come out to the end of the park to help shorten that distance for crossing after the pedestrians, whether it's a bike or a kid walking across the street. It will allow a little bit better time. it also has a music sound for somebody that doesn't have an eyesight or that might be blind, can hear that and, get you more for the good stop. So I think there's a lot of safety features coming into this project that will make this better. It doesn't have bike shares in it, the road guide is down, it's a sidewalk, it's rather shared, but the crossing mechanism is going to be a lot better. Like I said, if I'm around, I typically, I'll answer my phone, I'll talk to them all week.
Well, if at all possible, I'd like to see some sort of a follow-up, at least at our meetings, so the council can have that input.
Leave an item on, if you're okay with it, I'll pull the item off, and I'll just update during my time rather than.
That'd be great.
As an item.
Yep.
I'll give you guys a quick read.
Sound good, guys?
Sometimes it might not change much, sometimes it might. But, I go to meetings once a week on that one, and once every 2 or 3 weeks on the water line. So, unfortunately, I've got a couple of really good department heads helping me on the electric side, the water side, that are taking that piece, but I'm really geared towards the other side and dealing with the public. Questions, concerns, that?
How long of an exec do you want? Don't need one. Don't need one. Don't need one. Okay.
Okay. Agenda just got modified.
Yeah, I was gonna jump in, but the motion was right there. Yeah, we don't need it.
Okay, so I guess that brings us to council and administrator reports. We'll start over here. Let's see, I think it's your turn this time.
Oh, geez.
Jeez.
Actually, I don't have anything tonight.
Okay. Mark? Nothing?
I'm just glad to be back. I missed the last 2 meetings. Fell on days where we were already out of town, so.
Great to have you back.
And Crane, yeah, I missed the barbecue last 2 meetings.
Yes.
Nothing? John?
Kudos to the splash pad project. I see kids out there all the time. There's a couple of rowdy neighbor boys across the street from me who are very rowdy, but I see them putting on their suits and getting on their bikes every day and riding down there. There's a couple little neighbor girls that their grandparents live across the street. And I asked them, have you been there? And they said, yeah, it's the best thing we've ever seen this summer, and they're just loving it. So I think that was a great project for us, and I'm really glad we got this up and running, and thank you, Don, for all your hard work.
Yes. Nothing? I have to say same thing you just said, and you said, Nick, about the splash pad. It's, you bump into people every day that are making comments about it, how great it is that,
You might have to talk about a restroom sometime.
yes, that's the one caveat.
We kind of had that in an idea that.
It's still a big picture.
Yeah, the sewer line's right there, it's just a matter of, we did this one pretty affordable.
Right.
That would be what we.
That, that and maybe a curb cutout with a few parkings.
Yeah, we need
Because,
parking, we need shade.
yeah,
Yeah, it's, the first step was to get it out there just to see what the response would be, and it's been fantastic.
Been fantastic.
Mayor, the couple things you contacted me about, I got Robbie on it.
okay. And I followed up with
Yeah.
Matt because the sign they put out, the instruction sign, it's got 4 bolts in the concrete, and my granddaughter went up to it, and it went about an inch each way, and then one of the octagon spraying cubes was spraying clear out in the ground, and there's quite a mud puddle there, and all that mud's getting up on the track, so it needs a little tweaking, so.
And Robbie did it right there. I just met him on site that day, and Robbie was there. Contacted the contractor, so.
Good deal. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, but big picture, bathrooms, parking, shade.
Good, glad to hear it, because it's been very popular, so, again, thanks for everything Sidif did and Donna did to make that happen. Movies on the Square starting Friday, June 26th at 7 p.m. BOLA sponsored and other sponsors. Hate to bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up. Do we have an update on recycling?
How about the band concert?
Thursday night?
Thursday night, yeah. Do we have a update on recycling? There was some communication between the city and the county. They are in the process of getting a
Container.
They call it dumpster. What's the name? Is there a name for it? It's supposed to have, different containers would be for different products.
Yeah, that was kind of the last thing we had heard, that they were looking at an alternative type that held more than just cardboard.
Yeah.
He's got that secured, I'm not sure from where. And,
Okay.
They're working on the location where it's going to be hauled, I do know that. Right now, this week, I need to get with Dana or somebody at the warehouse to order the cardboard for the cover when they do the pickup dates or their transport dates. But I think we can get close.
Okay.
We'll make sure we're working on it.
Good deal. All right. Chase, anything for us? Nothing? Corey, anything else?
Just one thing, Jason Ellis mentioned to me today, that Pro Seal, of all other things going on, we're probably gonna be doing Lincoln and then Oregon, that little stretch on Cottonwood within the next couple of weeks. We talked about maybe next week. I really think with the weather and the rain, it's probably likely to be after, but look for them to be in here to do that field code on those streets within the and just a reminder, we started our budget meeting when we had one.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Thursday, appreciate you guys taking
Thanks. Matt, anything? Roxanne, anything?
Friday, the city clerk's office will be in training, so the office will be closed to the public.
Public closed Friday, City Hall.
I did have one quick question. Who is our point person for, whenever they open up those, where does it come now to July?
It is.
Is there someone that connected to the city that lets us know when that's supposed to open?
Really one kind of had cameras, one kind of point. Contact with, she's trying to arrange that ribbon cutting eventually. I know they've got a person hired, I don't know if it's a park ranger, a full-time person. They don't have any furnishings and stuff yet.
Well, the governor has to sign it, so it's waiting on the governor.
But I know they've got somebody that, what facility you got, I mean, or, I think it's getting closer, it's just, I don't know what.
Actually, it was supposed to be today.
Yes,
That's
what I bring up, because
Yeah.
today was supposed to be the day, and then
Yeah.
we were out there the other day, and it's gonna be beautiful, but we were told by a gentleman out there that, the dock may be another year, the budget and everything. There's some things they're gonna kick down to next year, it's like every year. So I was just curious.
TBD's last I was told, so if you're July, that's more information than I have.
Yeah. I just heard they was behind on finishing the inside. That's all I knew.
Yeah, when they have the event, all 9 of you will be invited out there. So on the date.
All right. Nothing further? Motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. All in favor, aye? Opposed? Thank you.
You guys want any barbecue, take it home, no leftovers. Otherwise, my